Welcome to Maximising Efficiency with Dext. I'm joined by Paul Lodder, and we're here today to explore a little bit more of Dext Solo. So this is our third video exploring Dext Solo. So if you haven't seen our first two videos, I'd encourage you to have a little bit of a scroll back up our LinkedIn profile and have a little view. We've covered all things set up there with Dext Solo. So now we're going to be looking at how to get your clients to send information into Dext so you can have completeness of records when coming to do their reporting and self-assessment tax returns. So we're going to jump into the product. And just as a little reminder, Dext Solo is our product for our unincorporated, non-VAT-registered businesses. So thinking sole traders, thinking landlords, and so on. So we're going to jump into the software there, and Paul's going to show us the first method to get information into Dext Solo.
Perfect. Thank you, Max. So yes, I am going to cover the first method being costs and sales space. And what I'm going to do is just jump into myself as a client, and this client, as we can see, two self-employed businesses and a number of UK properties. I'm going to pick this one here, and what we can see is all of these documents have come through. And what's really important is you have all of that functionality that many of you may be familiar with. So in terms of getting documents in, you can drag and drop documents into the cost space. You can use invoice fetch. You've got unique email addresses. You can use the mobile app as well. And this is where you can really streamline all of the processes between yourself and your client and get your client into the habit of providing you with documents in real time, as close to the date that transaction has occurred. Doesn't mean you're going to suddenly have everything processed, but we know with MTD for ITSA coming in 2026 and quarterly reporting, one of the biggest challenges is going to be around change management and ensuring that clients are providing you with information on a timely basis. This is even more important when every client who is mandated under MTD ITSA is going to have exactly the same reporting dates. Every quarter is going to be aligned for all of your clients. So once all of that information has been submitted, you've got the ability to then select the appropriate category that mirrors either the SA103F or the SA105, but you can also create your own bespoke categories, which we'll cover when we look at the reporting side, because that can really help with the analytical review side of things. A couple of other things to remember to really help ensure completeness of records, accuracy of records, is you can create documents within Dext Solo itself. You don't need to have supporting information. Where this might be useful, potentially a use of home claim, where you just want to create that document, have the information there stored, and you've got your notes and everything else as well. It's also worth remembering you can set up supplier rules. Supplier rules can ensure consistency in terms of how transactions are processed or categorized, and that can just improve the overall accuracy. You can also use Smart Split. There'll be some transactions potentially that have a business and personal element, and the split never changes. This is where you might want to apply a percentage rule so that 30% gets allocated to, let's say, personal, 70% gets allocated to business. So there's a number of mechanisms here to really help get that flow of information into your clients. And the final bit I am just going to cover is also remembering that we do have duplicate detection as well. There is always the risk that clients not only email in some notification, maybe for a train ticket, but they also take a picture of the train ticket as well and upload that. With our duplicate cost item detection, all of that can be readily picked up and avoid doubling up of costs. Very quickly, we've also got the sales space as well, where any invoices can be uploaded. And again, just in my example here, I'm just using a taxi driver as an example. They may keep a spreadsheet, or they may keep a different mechanism for all of their daily takings. This is where you can create that document just to record that income, making all of that process so much easier. And then finally, I am just going to jump into my rental property here as well, because many owners of property may use an agent. And this is where you can use line items, and you need to do this process manually at the moment, but we are looking at developing automatic rental statement line item extraction for you. But this is where, if you do have rental statements, they can be uploaded into the sales space. And as you can see here, I have done some manual line items here to ensure that everything has been grossed up correctly and therefore reflected accurately on the tax return. With that, I'm going to hand back to Max, who is going to focus on the bank space for us.
Perfect. So, yeah, that was great. That's the cost and sales method that we're all sort of familiar with. What you will understand, what you need to understand, is that Dext Solo is a standalone product. So instead of having your bank feeds connected in your general ledger software that you would experience for your limited company, more complex clients, we need to bring that banking data into Dext as well for our self-employed clients and landlords too. So on the left-hand navigation panel, we can go down to the bank section and we can effectively set up our feeds directly from here. So if we just jump into connections and into bank, we can add bank feeds directly from Dext Solo and connect your client's bank accounts directly in here. And as I know from being an accountant and having multiple sole trader clients, it's always the best method to promote them to get a little business bank account that they can operate from, instead of having to navigate through all of their Christmas shopping to work out what's a business transaction and what is not. So that would be my first tip before you even get going. So first of all, we've connected our bank feed, and then we can see, or one sec before I move on that one, Paul, we're going to, if you don't have bank feed available, or the client doesn't want to give you access to that and they just provide you with those PDF statements, we can go in just the normal method and we can drag and drop our bank feeds via PDF statements directly into there, where Dext will extract all of that information and upload it ready to be processed. So once we've got all our bank information in, we navigate to the transactions process. So what Paul covered a second ago was obviously the sales and costs items here. We are looking at matching these two solutions together. However, at the moment, you either allocate a cost via the bank, or you allocate it via the cost section there. So you don't want to be doing both of those, or else currently it will be duplicated. But we are looking at really sort of bolstering this process and having a bit of a matching process between invoices and the actual spend and receive monies there on the bank statement as well. So as you can see, quite a clear view here. And what we can do first of all is we have multiple transactions that are all for the same category. We can select those transactions. We can sort transactions by description. And for example, say we had loads of bank transactions. We had loads of bank charges that we wanted to code all at once. We can select those, select bulk edit at the top, and we can apply a category to them directly from there. So really easy way to do that and get through there. What you can see at the top as well is there is a request paperwork button at the top. So if you weren't happy with just seeing a bank transaction, you wanted that paperwork, and before doing so, you can select the items that you want, request that paperwork, and you can export that and send them a full list of all the paperwork that you want directly from there via PDF or Excel, or we can send them a notification there as well. What else have we got here? So as we can see, we can allocate all of our transactions here to categories, but if, for example, there is multiple categories that we need to put to one line. So as we can see here, we've got a rental, some rental income, and that includes our rental income and the fee we pay to our management company in there. What we can do is we can go to the right hand side and we can go to splits there, and we can split that transaction over multiple categories there. This might be the case. It's not, it might be, you might have a personal item in there. You might have been to B&Q and spent £1,000 on paint, £700 of that was for your rental property, and £300 was for your personal property, and you need to go in there and allocate the right category to those as well there. We are looking at putting bank rules in there, as you'd experience from using some of the other accountancy products, but yeah, we want to have bank rules within here for our sole trader clients as well, just so that we can automate that process of automatically coding things like bank charges and whatnot directly to those codes without us having to manually type them in as well. So that's it, I think. I've not missed anything, Paul, in terms of that bank space, but really sort of easy way.
Everything.
Really easy way to navigate around that. So like I said, we're either going to put our sales and cost items in there, or we're going to categorize our bank transactions, or do a combination of the two. So once we've got all the information there, now we want to be looking at the reporting. So in our next video, we'll be jumping into some of the reporting features, some of the extra features within Dext Solo there to get you up and running and serving your clients effectively. So thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.